Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Game 2 of Season 11, the first week. We have Enemy Gate is Down versus Table for 4. I am joined here by the great and wonderful co-caster of Thor. How are you doing tonight, Thor?
Oh, I'm doing well after coming off the W today, feeling good, ready to cast some League of Legends.
Yeah, it's going to be a fresh perspective tonight. I was planning on drafting one of these teams, but some conflict of schedule came, and it was a little bit of a struggle, and I know nothing about any of these teams, and am a little bit rusty when it comes to, the local scene. I've been watching a lot more pro scene than anything else. So as it comes down to it, it's going to be an interesting matchup from my perspective, and I think the viewers are going to appreciate someone coming in here a little bit excited about these matchups on both sides. We've got a couple bans coming out quickly. What do you think of them so far?
So far those bans I see is pretty good. Hook Resets is a very good Rakan and Thresh player, as well as the final ban there, Ornn, is directed towards Iguini, or who used to be Hibs, and he's been playing a lot of that for the top lane. As for the blue side bans, the Talia is directed exactly at Disenchanted, as he is a one-trick on the Talia, as far as I can tell. The Wukong is directed towards Dan, because he has been doing a lot of jungling over the games that I've checked in on him. He's been playing a lot of Wukong, and the Aurelia is towards Freg, due to the fact that Freg is known for popping off on these carry-style top laners.
We do have a lot of fast bans and picks coming in already. It seems like both teams are pretty prepared. I think it's interesting how I've seen a lot of teleport in the game, and with that, if Hibs has the Trundle, it might not be unexpected to see that in support. I don't know if you agree with that or what you're expecting here with these teams.
So far, I'm expecting the Trundle to go towards Dubdrum. I live with the guy, and he's been spamming a lot of the Trundle jungle, as it is currently really strong in the current meta. As for the Kai'Sa and Rammus, Rammus is a good counter to a lot of AD team comps, as well as the Kai'Sa being one of the most powerful AD carries in the game as of today.
Interesting. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how these teams play out. A lot of these players coming back together. Hook Reset, Dubdrum, Hibs, the bestest one. Is Mr. Tuesday a rookie?
Mr. Tuesday is actually not a rookie. He used to be Condemn Resets. He's very close friends down with Hook Resets.
Gotcha.
So this team's got a lot of elements from the past and a lot of close cohesion between their players.
Gotcha. And then on the other side, it looks like we've got a few people that might be a little bit newer, at least a bit more new for me. Bootmaster Spiffy, I'm assuming that's Grand Spiffy. And then these others I'm not so familiar with.
Okay, so Freg was introduced into last season as a top laner, and he was well known for his carry top lanes, and he's become one of the better top laners in the league. As for Bootmaster Spiffy, we found out tonight that is actually SPL Bad Boy, or as people know him in the past as I'm Just Dan, coming in for the jungle. So we do have a couple. We have a couple of veterans on the team with Bootmaster Spiffy, Freg, and Adonis, who used to be Zachary, who used to be a jungle main. But they do bring in two new rookies in Disenchanted and Hunterhead 101. So it'll be interesting to see how they will do, as they are two of the more highly rated players on that team.
Yeah, and with how quickly everyone's banning, it looks like both teams are rather prepared. Have a lot of expectations going into this first matchup. See a little bit more tankiness coming from Enemy Gate is Down with the Morgana Spell Shield, the Maokai as a giant tank, and then the Trundle just going to be running around causing mayhem with his tankiness. And then on the opposite side, yeah, as you had said, Kai'Sa, Rammus, Ari, it's a little bit more of a dive comp, it looks like so far. See if they end up playing towards their strengths with that team comp so far.
Yeah, as for Enemy Gates is Down, they are definitely looking for more of that tanky, calculated engage with the Maokai going in, Trundle putting up a pillar, catching someone with a Morgana binding, and now having the Tristana to be their scaling AD carry to knock down turrets. Whereas it appears that Table for Four is looking more for that pick style comp and playing more towards their individual strengths rather than their team strengths.
Yeah, I think if I had to go one way or another right now with what I'm seeing from these teams, the more veteran players running the team comp that they are seems a little bit safer. But from the opposite side, I mean, rookies can really surprise you just because no one's really played with them before. So we're in for a very exciting match as we have very different team comps so far. And ooh, a top lane or 80 carry. Oh, never mind.
It is a top lane Garen, and as far as I know, Freg likes to play him as a full crit build Garen to look for those one shots on people. So it'll be interesting to see how his build develops over the game, depending on how their team is doing.
Yeah, Garen. He's gonna be in every bush. So I think enemy gate is down is gonna have to be aware of his opportunity to jump in and really surprise everyone. Wow, what a different set of team comps. How are you feeling?
As far as I'm looking at this game, I feel that Enemy Gate is Down has a much better team comp set up for the SPL style of just kind of push lit waves and then look for a big engage with your Maokai, the Trundle Pillar, maybe even a Rise Portal in or a Morgana Binding. Whereas it's going to be very interesting for Table for Four to look for pushes if they fall behind. If they fall behind, it's going to be very hard for them to come back into this game, I feel.
I completely agree. Yeah, once a team gets tanky enough, they just don't really have an opportunity, or the opposing team to shred through that would be armor and resistances. And Mr. Tuesday on the Tristana, a 80 carry that can get out of just about anything, aside from maybe a Rammus taunt, RE charm, Blitzcrank grab, a lot of things that are going to be trying to hook the Tristana, but the Morgana should be able to stop a lot of those. So
Yeah, and it's very interesting to see that they're putting Mr. Tuesday in at their 80 carry as he is their lowest ranked player on the starting roster. So they're putting a lot of faith in him to come out and carry, and it's going to be very fun to watch him and Hook Resets play the spot lane as they do have that inherent synergy from being friends for years.
yeah, I was actually going to look up Mr. Tuesday Gold 5 and has been playing a lot of 80 carry with a pretty good KDA for Season 8, 3.64, which if you can have a 3.64 KDA in your first SBL game, that's going to be, I would call that a win regardless of how the games end up playing out. So a
Yeah,
lot of a lot on Mr. Tuesday to be able to play well and use his escapes to get out as he needs to, and then do enough damage to get through the Garen, the Rammus, and the Blitzcrank.
now, the matchup I am most interested in right now is going to be bestest one for Enemy Gate is Down versus Disenchanted for Table for Four, as Disenchanted has been this hyped up new mid laner coming into the league, and versus the bestest one who really showed up last season as one of the better mid laners due to his ability to play a team oriented game and also be able to solo carry in the mid lane. So that matchup for me is my most exciting.
Yeah, that'll be a great one to watch, especially because if the bestest one is known for his mid lane team play, Rise is a champion that certainly allows him the possibility to do great things for his team, moving them around or moving himself around to get in position to help his teammates out as best as he can.
I do agree, and as we're about to get here into the game, are you thinking that there'll be any level 1 shenanigans going on?
I think something has to happen with the Blitzcrank pull, the Rammus taunt, and then the Morgana snare. There's got to be some spicy starts to this game. So I'm hoping for it.
Yeah, it's
There's
going to be exciting.
there's a lot of potential.
As for the junglers in this game, as I've taken over the jungle role again this season, I'm looking to see the Trundle focus towards that top lane to really give their main tank Kiguini a lot of extra room to carry and to be able to engage and give him the space or the farm and the time he needs to become that big main tank that they're really looking for. As for Bootmaster Spiffy, he's gonna probably need to target more towards that mid lane. You know, whenever Rise flashes down and cleanses down, he's going to need to look to go and gank mid lane as much as possible.
Ooh, and we see a lot of pings coming out already. Everyone wants to head towards this blue side jungle, making their way through the river.
Yep, Table for 4 does seem to be on the same page of invading his 5 through the standard Pixel Brush invade, whereas Enemy Gate is down, dropped some wards so they have some early information, and then just kind of backed off, looking maybe for the counter engage here.
They might have the blind blitz hook in. We'll see if they decide to try anything. And they get it. They get the grab onto him. Runs away. A lot of damage going out. Hunter Head Hex is walking out. A flash out of the Maokai pound. Everyone's
lots of
pretty low.
Being burned. And we're going to see that Enemy Gate is down. Definitely walks away from that with a win. Burning way less summoners, just one flash and one ignite versus two, or just the one flash, I guess, from Freg himself. So
a lot of flashes. I don't know if the Maokai really cares, because Garen also lost his. And then Hook resets, burning the Ignite to try and do some damage. It just means the lane will be a little bit odd to start off. I wonder how Bootmaster Spiffy, if he's going to struggle at all taking that much damage before the start. He's burning some pots already.
Yep, it's definitely going to be interesting. And,
but yeah, down to this bottom lane, Hunter had 101 hacks. He's the only one that's really got a little bit less damage. Ooh, and takes the snare. Heals burned, ignites burned.
Are we going to see a flash out of... Nope. Alright, well, more summoners down in the bottom lane. It's now going to be very interesting to see what these junglers do about those summoners being down.
So, with all that damage done, we've got a upset, at least in regards to the health, as pots continue to get burned. Blitzcrank, Hunter Head is just low. But in the jungle, in the top side, oh, nope, Rammus does not decide to actually gank at all, as that lane is pushed pretty heavily.
Yep, another great binding coming out of Hook resets on Hunter Head. And this bottom lane is starting to get pushed in towards Table for 4. It's going to be really interesting to see how they're going to react to that, if they're going to call down the Rammus to eventually gank for them, or if they're just going to, you know, keep absorbing this pressure.
Yeah, there's pretty even CS across the board, aside from Frag in the top lane, as these two top laners battle it out, exchanging damage. But that seems
Frag
to be
is
about
going to
it.
be pretty happy about that trade, as he will regenerate most of that health back. And since he doesn't use the mana, it's going to be a really nice advantage for him against Guini.
Yeah, that Garen passive is pretty dirty in the long run, as he just continues to get health back for free. And ooh, and they're trading again, but no real damage traded based on those passes. Dubdrum coming in lane. A root lands. Dubdrum gets pulled, flashes pretty early to get out of that tower since he had the black shield on him. Probably would have survived a knockup.
The black shield was a little late, hence the reason why he got hooked, but all in all, not too concerning for him to be down his flash, as he will be just looking to power farm up a little bit more, and then probably look towards the top side to gank for the Maokai.
We do have Rammus knocking the light cone and letting everyone know that he was there. A ward dropped, also sees him as Bootmaster Spiffy then runs away. To this mid lane, Ari is growing in a little bit of a CS lead. See if that ends up amounting to anything. Right now it's just 5. And, ooh, top lane. That CS lead is quite large. And Garen taunting under tower as, ooh, bottom lane. That damage. Morgana
A wonderful
with the
job.
ticks.
A wonderful job out of Enemy Gate is down. Once again, focusing on that bot lane that still is just getting their summoners back up.
They had that timed pretty decently to get, you know, all parties involved coordinated to do the damage. Was Rammus there? I caught the tail end of it.
Rammus came in at the last second and was unfortunately unable to do anything towards the gank since Adonis had already fallen.
Yeah, that is unfortunate, especially First Blood. We've got a 700 gold lead to the gate is down, and more damage as this Garen and, ooh, the ult coming out of Maokai, but it'll do damage, but not much else, as Garen retreated under tower.
Yep, I think that Maokai was just looking to push the wave away, as he doesn't have much of a kill threat on the Garen, even though Garen is low. But we'll have to see if he's looking to try to dive.
Ooh, Dubdrum caught out, ends up doing a 2v1, and the Morgana providing enough separation between the Rammus and the Blitzcrank as a hook comes out, but is just a little wide.
Yeah, that was great coordination out of Enemy Gate is down once again to rotate over to their jungler, who was basically caught out, but due to the fast response of hook resets and Mr. Tuesday to get over for him, he was able to walk out pretty unscathed.
Yeah, we're seeing a little bit more expertise coming out of the gate is down, simply from, I think, experience of playing in the SBL in 5s, which a lot of teams take some time to adapt to as the players switch every season. Because playing in 5s is one thing, but playing in you know, a competitive 5 scenes is quite another.
Yes, it is, and that's something that Enemy Gate is Down definitely brings to the table. A lot of these players have played together, and most of them are veterans, so they're definitely used to this 5v5 play style, whereas a lot of Table for 4 is not used to this kind of gameplay. They're more used to the solo queue carrying.
And something I haven't seen in a long time, at least in the SBL, Garen proxying the first wave. He's giving up tower damage to just be able to keep, you know, Maokai down, and he's taking a blue buff, but he's gonna get caught out by Maokai and Dubdrum, and you know, Dubdrum says, "Thanks for, you know, starting my blue buff for me. I'll take that and walk away."
Yeah, no, Frag is definitely looking to try to get that solo carry by pushing in and trying to take as many advantages as he can early, but unfortunately his team's just not there to back him up on all of these solo plays that he's looking for.
And then on the bottom side, a lot of pings going out as Hook Resets and Mr. Tuesday drop a ward on the blue buff as, you know, the gate is down had just taken theirs. They might be interested in taking another. As Dubdrum comes up top lane to fight the Garen, the Maokai ult comes out, traps Frag, and he's dropping low as Maokai and Dubdrum pick up the kill going over to Dubdrum, and that has to be pretty satisfying for Dubdrum as, you know, Frag came into his jungle, tried to take his blue buff, and then gets shut down in lane as Maokai's going to push into this tower, do probably a decent amount of tower damage, and Dubdrum is going to take a lot of jungle as no one can provide pressure at their top.
Yeah, that was a very great play out of Dubdrum and Iguini. Iguini doing a good job at lining up his ult so that even if Frag did flash, he would catch it with the root, as well as a wonderful pillar out of Dubdrum to really cut off Frag's exit route.
I'm pretty impressed out of this play already, and Dubdrum is noticed with a ward on the enemy red buff. Frag's coming in, and ooh, Dubdrum gets charmed. The blast cone not helping out as much as he would have liked. He gets charmed back in, and Garen ult takes him down, so the counter kill coming out as Rammus lands a taunt on Rise, who flashes over the wall expertly to get back under tower. The bestest one doing his best to try and keep Dubdrum alive, but not enough.
Yeah, that was very greedy out of Dubdrum to continue to sit in that jungle for that long without any sort of vision or pressure from his lanes. Ari was able to roam over a lot quicker than Tibestus one was, as well as Freg, who was already on top of the play, whereas Queenie was still sitting top lane at the time.
Dubdrum, after he does get a first kill, can get a little hypey, so not completely surprised that he overextended a little bit. Just an opportunity for Table for Four to get back into this game, keep the gold differential to a minimum as these teams continue to poke at each other. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm starting to notice the CS advantage coming from this mid lane from Disenchanted against Tibestus one, and he seems to be playing very well into the Ryze matchup on this Ari.
And then bottom lane too, the Tristana's got 22 CS over Adonis, and Tristana usually doesn't go ahead in CS based on how her skills are used. So Mr. Tuesday doing pretty darn well to be up an assist and 20 CS on an enemy 80 carry.
He's definitely taking advantage of the fact of how far Table for Four's bottom lane has fallen behind.
Ooh, and as we had been talking about that, I had missed just about everything except for the tail end, where Dubdrum and Mr. Tuesday collapsed to kill Adonis.
Yeah, Adonis was pushing up a little bit too far to try to get some extra vision, and now we will see that enemy gate is down. We'll take that first turret as well as capturing that first blood earlier on. But they have quite a sizable lead as of right now, about 3K.
Yeah, where we were a minute ago from 1.4 to 3K, that's pretty substantial. We'll see if they can really stop the bleeding. This first dragon looks like it's going to be contested. Possibly. No, Rammus is not coming down. He does not have the health to fight it. So, Table for Four is going to hand over, and I just missed the mid lane.
And that was skirmish. A beautiful roam by Hunterhead into Disenchanted to pick up the kill onto Tibestus one, who was still down his summoners from that earlier skirmish when Dubdrum did die. But yeah, it does allow his team to secure that dragon, and it is a Infernal Drake, so it's pretty comparable.
Yeah, a kill for Infernal Dragon, like the Infernal Dragon will be very useful as the game goes on, but just not paying attention as people were roaming away from the dragon. There were wards there. I don't know if the last one had really gotten cleared, but people were around the dragon, and he just stayed a little too far extended, not aware of the Blitzcrank that could show up. Looks like both sides are resetting at this point, as the gate is down, is extending back to the river line, and the bottom lane is going to back off as they push that lane up, and they don't have a tower to fall back to. Dubdrum's even here to contest if they were to find someone, but they won't, as they'll both back successfully.
As of right now, Dubdrum should be trying to focus once again towards that top side, because there is a Rift Herald up there, and his top laner is falling behind in CS and pressure towards the Garen. So if I were him, I would rotate towards that top side, look for, some control of the river, some more vision, and make a play for that Rift Herald with your team that's already ahead.
I completely agree. The middle lane, the bestest one, applying some damage to Disenchanted as Ari misses a charm blind. The one thing I'll say, back to your point about the Dubdrum going top, I know Bootmaster Spiffy is in this game, but he hasn't actually done a whole lot. He's gotten some taunts down, but no successful kills. Dubdrum's a 50% ahead with the amount of CS, and a kill and assist to his name. So just more coming out of Dubdrum, more seasoned, but I'd like to see more out of Bootmaster Spiffy as I'm talking about it, land on Dubdrum, who gets pulled in, knocked down, multiple fights happening all over the map. Bootmaster Spiffy gets blown up, hook resets, taking that kill with the Morgana damage coming out.
And that definitely plays into the fact that Enemy Gate is down is definitely doing a lot better job with their vision control when they're looking to make these plays. Table for Four was looking to catch off Dubdrum because they had 3 people, 4 people in the area, but unfortunately they didn't realize that all of Enemy Gate is Down was in the area ready to rotate in on it.
Yeah, and it looked like Hunter Head 101 was going to try and pull somebody out so that him and the Garen could kill them. But no dice, as the Morgana Black Shield prevented that pull from happening. So Table for 4 is going to try and reset, lick their wounds, and come back to fight another day. Really well coordinated, I'd say, out of the Gate is Down.
Yeah, they're definitely looking to play off of their jungler, because when it seems he's looking for a fight, they have multiple players rotating in to come and back him up on these plays.
The other thing too, the Gate is Down seems willing to trade to pull in one person. They'll lose one, and then another person will get caught out, but then the entire team's there. So then it goes from, you know, a 2v1 to a 4v3, and they lose one but take two, and taking two is usually always worth it, especially because they got the Rift Herald there.
Yep, and as we just saw, there was a couple trades of summoners, both mid laners blowing both their sums in a small little trade. And it's interesting to see that Disenchanted still has this advantage over Tibessus One, even though his team is behind. So it's going to be really important to see how he plays later on in this game, see if he can make those big game-changing plays on the Ahri.
Yeah, Disenchanted's Ahri looks pretty good. About 30 CS up and 3 assists up, or 2 assists up, sorry, on the Bessus One. So if he can keep that up, he's going to be a threat to be dealt with, regardless of the armor or magic resist on the side of the Gate is Down. Ooh, Blitzcrank coming in. A lot of damage coming down on this Rise. A lot of skill shots missed, but only one needs to land in order to bring down Tibessus One.
Unfortunately, Hunterhead once again secures that kill. He should have given it away to one of his two carries who was there, because the gold would be much better on them than the support Blitzcrank. But it is a good roam on the fact that Tibessus One did not have any summoners up.
Yeah, and with him having mostly supporting items, I mean, he might be able to support his team a little bit better, but he's now caught out by this Tristana. Expertly dodges the Morgana, but disengage from Table for 4.
Yep, once again, just a trade of those summoners, looking for the quick picks with the Morgana. And we see that their bottom lane is rotating up to that top side to try to grab some more turrets now with their scaling comp.
Yeah, both sides are trying. Ooh, Morgana gets pulled in. The Blitzcrank ult keeps her from applying her own shield. And we have Rammus, who's decided not to re-engage the team.
Yeah, I'm a little unsure of how Hook Resets got caught out there with him having Black Shield. I don't know if it was down or not for that time, but a really good pick out of Table for 4 to stop that push on the top lane.
I think he was just trying to call out Blitzcrank and not expect him to try the pull even and wait a little bit longer, and no, he just got pulled and he just went down.
Gotta be that first week of SBL nerves coming back in.
The thing that's interesting about both of these teams, the Gate is Down is almost playing like they have the same pick comp as, or sorry, the Gate is Down is playing as if they have a pick comp like Table of 4. They just keep fighting as soon as they try and catch one person out, and I don't know if they're really playing to the tankiness that they have, as both people are proctoring against the river near jungle.
Yeah,
Table for 4 getting pushed out.
I definitely agree. I don't understand why Enemy Gate is Down is trying to play to the strengths of Table for 4 and trying to match them in these pick comps. They should be just grouping with their tanks and their Tristana and just pushing down these objectives. It's really interesting to see that they're trying to basically feed into Table for 4's playstyle.
Right. And we're getting close to the 20-minute mark, where a lot of the game ends up being decided based on gold alone. Do you have a feeling one way or another how this game's going to go from what you've seen so far?
As of right now, it appears that Table for 4 is cutting into that gold lead and really almost catching up to Enemy Gate is Down. They're only down in 2 turrets to 0, so that's spanning gold that will basically tie this game up. So if Enemy Gate is Down is still playing to the playstyle of Table for 4, it could go either way at this point.
I completely agree. The fact that so much gold is on the Blitzcrank as opposed to an 80 carry or a mid laner speaks volumes about what this gold differential really is at the end of the day.
Yeah, and we do see CS leads in the top lane and mid lane for Table for 4, so they're really going to have to rely on these solo laners to come in later in these team fights and make a difference.
As Frag gets more tanky and Disenchanted gets more damage, I kind of see the fight going their way as these games progress, just from how the playstyles have been executed. So Disenchanted protecting his turret, not a lot of damage done to it, even though the other two have fallen. Ooh, Blitzcrank landing a pull, and
another
getting
big
the
hook.
Charm perfectly executed.
Another excellent hook out of Hunterhead, and we see Frag flashing in. This might be a little too hypey.
Ooh, Frag not being able to survive it, but a lot of damage going down across multiple people. Adonis going off as he's bursting through the Rise, trying to heal up that damage, but Dum-Drum is just too tanky, and now we've got some very tanky tanks fighting against the Ahri and the Blitzcrank. Ahri, ooh, flash, but Mike, yes, goes down. Hunterhead walking / limping away from that exchange, and one extra person died on the side of Table for 4. That's how close that fight was.
It was indeed a very close fight, and I think it's partially due to the fact that Frag is not looking to build that tank right now, that their team came out behind in that. He's got the Duskblade and the Phantom Dancers right now, so he's really looking to just kind of get that solo carry crit build that I was talking about earlier, and I think it's going to be more of a detriment to his team than a positive.
The other thing that happened there too is the Morgana got caught early. So it was essentially a 4v5 that the Gate is Down was able to come back from and kill from where you start the team fight. If it's after Morgana went down, they got 2 extra kills. So Frag might want to consider what his options are if he's trying to blow someone up or help his team survive. As the taunt comes in on the Tristana, who instantly gets bursted down.
Another wonderful pick once again by Table for 4. They really are trying to focus in on that playstyle of just looking for one squishy member and taking them out of the fight before there is even a fight.
A lot of damage coming out, as the only real tanky member here is Rammus and Blitzcrank, and neither of them are really that tanky.
Right now, Rammus is quite far behind in CS and kills and assists towards Dum-Drum, so he hasn't quite gotten those items built yet, so he's going to need about another 5 to 10 minutes to even scale up to the tankiness that his team's going to need him to be at.
And then looking at the gold, even though Blitzcrank has... Ooh, Blitzcrank pull onto the Rise, who gets bursted down but not dead. Has to burn... I don't know what he burned to get out of there. Ooh, Ahri gets caught Disenchanted just a little bit too far in the pillar, pushes him towards the enemy team. This is the mid tower that the Gate is Down has been hoping and waiting for.
Yeah, this is definitely a play in on those tanks that I was talking about. They're able to just engage on these turrets in group of 5 and take these things, and Table for 4 doesn't have an answer.
Yeah, Adonis was near Baron Pit, and they had no wave clear left with Disenchanted dropping, so people were just able to get downed. And we've got a team running towards Baron, doing a bush check. Ooh, TP with Rise. He at least separates the team.
That was a wonderful TP out of Rise. It really made Table for 4 want to split between Hunterhead and Adonis. So Adonis unfortunately had to walk towards enemy gated down to try to escape and was caught.
And now we're going to have a really quick Baron coming out of the gate is down. They certainly turned the tides here as they were able to pick up a kill, 2 turrets, another kill, and then Baron. So things are definitely looking up in their favor.
Yeah, Enemy Gate is Down has definitely opened this game wide open with the last couple minutes of gameplay here. So it's going to be really on Table for 4 to look for those important picks going into the later half of this game to really dig themselves out of this detrimental spot that they're in currently.
And to be up against a team that has Fire Dragon, Earth Dragon, Baron, and it looks like they're going to be pushing 2 lanes. They're going to ignore the top lane as Baron had already gone down and swing over to push this bottom turret down as it's already at half health. The gate is down is executing their macro play just enough better than Table for 4, and it's really showing this latter half of this game.
Yep, they're definitely capitalizing on the strengths that they built in their team comp and draft.
Ooh, Alton under tower. Hook reset is probably going to fall here as no one can come to help him. Disenchanted tries to dive for him. Adonis goes down. Rise gets pulled again. And wow, Disenchanted drops from a huge Rise ult.
And that should be the game. Enemy Gate is Down has enough tools right now with the bannered minion to just push in and win this game.
And they want to take the Garen down too, as he's probably the only thing that can stand in their way. He wasn't tanky as Garens usually are because he built crit, and yeah, that's going to be the game. 17-9 as this game ran away in 7 minutes from Table for 4.
Yeah, they definitely took advantage of their team comp superiority over Table for 4 and did an excellent job of closing the game out once they took the big purple worm.
So,
yeah, we can interview. Who do you think we should pull in here? Because I'm thinking we pull in Aguini as that big tank going deathless in the top lane and understanding what his role for his team was.
I completely agree. He was pretty paramount for his team to survive that early game. Yes.
Yeah.
So we're going to get Aguini pulled in here, but just a little bit of a rundown. Everyone going pretty positive on the side of the gate is down. And a 12k gold lead as the game comes to a close. Pretty impressive play from
User joined your
the
channel.
gate is down. Welcome, Aguini. Oh no, you're not Aguini.
I am Aguini.
Hibbs is Aguini.
Oh god, I'm so confused.
Yeah, you haven't been
Why do you
around.
do
It's
this to me,
alright.
Hibbs? Every time.
I could explain it, but we're not gonna waste my time.
So, after this game, looking at your stat line, you really understood the fact that you were the main tank going into these fights. How was your team getting ready for this match against Freg and their new mid laner Disenchanted? How did you guys mentally prep for that?
I can speak a little bit for my team. We were definitely prepared really well. We know our strengths as a team, and we can play around a couple carries, and then we know our style is to have some people in a support role and some people in a carry role, and I think we did a really good we did an okay job of that today. There are things we can work on. For myself, going up against Freg, this is my first time in the top lane in the SBL, and this guy is like playing crit Garen or lethality Garen into me, and I expected him to be like kind of all over the place, but it was definitely an adjustment early in the game, going like, okay, this Garen will kill me if I give him the chance. So, uh, adjusting for the frag factor was interesting on a personal level.
Yeah,
So,
and it's. Oh,
oh,
go ahead,
go ahead.
Failed.
Oh, well, I was just gonna say, your playstyle this game, and this is for your team in total, seem to be channeling their inner TSM. Because you were essentially an island that game as Frag just continued to beat you down and try and get a gold lead and a CS lead, which he got a CS lead. But the resolve that you had to just essentially go deathless in this game and understand the utility that you needed to perform in order to take out that win, um, I I was really impressed. Hopefully it doesn't go to your head. Uh, but how much have you been preparing this Maokai into this team?
Uh, anyone who like looks at my OPGG will see three tanks, like Maokai, Ornn, and Poppy. I'm trying to add a few more. They banned the Ornn, which has kind of been my main, but I knew against this team, I didn't really want to go with Poppy. I thought Maokai's a little stronger, and it's a really good like peeling champion for like that for when Garen like flashes on the back line, you know. Um, so I thought it was just a really good pick, and it honestly worked better than I expected. I knew like in theory, all of this works out, and we outscale and we destroy them in the mid to late. But it was cleaner than I expected. There's still things we could clean up around that like 15-minute mark, but I'm happy with our start for sure.
Yeah, if you continue to play top lane like you did tonight, um, you might be one of the best top laners that we have this season. So, congrats on playing the role well, playing for the team, and clutching that first win. Thor, any other questions?
It's more of a statement, really, for the last little bit here. On the Maokai, you actually did the most damage of your team, as well as getting 13, having 12 assists and 1 kill, so the majority of kill participation on your team. How does that make you feel?
Uh, no, to be honest, I just need my team to step up a little bit. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm like happy about the damage numbers and all, and I'm happy I had a good game, but um, this is just the first game, and there's 9 more, and then presumably playoffs, and that's the goal. So it's about looking long term and not uh thinking about how fucking awesome I just played right now. So
Definitely. It's going to be
just
very interesting to watch as your team grows over these next couple weeks, and I definitely look to the two 1-0 teams facing off next week. So it should be interesting.
Yeah, congrats on the win, and I think we're gonna take a pause before Game 3, but don't touch that dial.